Hi everyone. Today I want to talk to you about creating your own reality. Now, I know that's a really difficult concept for many people to understand because, our physical reality is what it is, and so, people think, well, you can't just change your reality. Um, but it doesn't really it's a little bit different than that. It's a little bit harder um, to grasp because it's not about changing your physical reality so much, although that can be part of it. Creating your reality is really all about transformation, and transformation is something that happens gradually, little bits at a time. You do a little bit today and a little bit tomorrow, and suddenly you've transformed. Which, when you think about it, transforming is creating a new reality. So, for instance, when I decided to lose weight, the person that I was when I was 25 pounds heavier is not the same as the person that I am now. New reality. Along the way, different things that I've learned to like or do, or the way I thought I used to be, I'm not anymore. It's a new reality. So, like I say, I used to say all the time that I was allergic to vegetables and exercise years ago before my transformation. I mean, that's pretty much how I grew up throughout my life, saying that. I thought that was funny, ha ha, I don't like vegetables, I don't have to exercise. And I was a relatively thin person growing up, so I could get away with that. But, and that was my reality at the time. That was how I felt, that's how I thought. But now both of those things are things that I love to do. If I eat vegetables every day, and I love them, and I can't get enough of them. And it's not something that I would have thought that I would ever have liked back, not even that long ago, just a couple of years ago. And the same for exercise. If I don't exercise or I can't exercise, I get antsy and I need to. And so that's a new reality for me. And there's just so many different ways that we can create new realities. What it really boils down to is your thoughts. If you think, I thought of myself as someone who didn't like vegetables and who didn't like exercise. That was my thoughts, and so that was my reality at the time. Now it's just different thoughts in my head. I think that I do like vegetables and I do like exercise, and so that's my reality now. And so there's just so many different things that your thoughts will change through different means. I guess the bottom line is that you're not stuck in any one particular reality, even though you think you are. So anything that you think about yourself, we all have these images of ourselves. For me, for almost 20 years, I was an SEO consultant, and that was really my image of myself. For all those years, I lived and breathed SEO. If someone asked me what I was or did, that's what I was, and that's how I thought of myself. That was my reality. But I was also able to just give it up one day, almost out of the blue. Which was strange. But one day, my reality was I was an SEO consultant, and then almost overnight, I mean, it took a while to I had to finish up with clients and things, but within another month or two, I no longer was an SEO consultant. My reality was different because of that. I sort of kid people sometimes and say that, when people talk about bad stuff happening, um, or the news stuff on the news, political stuff, killings and all that kind of stuff. I don't pay attention to that stuff. I don't want, I don't read that stuff. I don't go looking for it. I don't want to know anything about it. And I tell people that that's not in my reality. That doesn't exist for me. And I know that's sort of silly in a way, because you could say I'm putting my head in the sand, which some people do say to me. But I think it also, by not allowing those things into my reality, it allows me to live a happier life. I'm not thinking about all the people in the world who having bad things happen to them. If I had to think about that, or I did think about that all the time, which a lot of people do, it would be stressful to me. It would worry me. It would maybe make me, when I go out, be scared that something bad was going to happen to me. But because I don't really allow that stuff into my reality, I don't have scared feelings to go out or whatever. I'm not like always thinking someone's going to kidnap me or my kids, or something bad's going to happen. And I think a lot of people who do read a lot of news and see a lot of news and hear about all the bad things, that's their reality, and that's the way they view life. And so it is scary for them to go out and do stuff. Now, those very same people probably think, well, one day I'll be sorry because I won't be protecting myself properly, because bad things are going to happen. But again, I just don't believe that. That's not the way I think, and that's not the way I choose to live my life. I don't want to live my life being scared about stuff. And I really do believe that for the most part people are good, and the news skews things, so we hear about all the bad stuff. That doesn't necessarily mean that is what our world is like for the most part. And I know bad things do happen. I'm not denying that bad things happen. It's just that I don't really want them in my reality. I don't want to think about it. I don't need to think about it. There's no reason for me to have to think about stuff like that. And I think because of that, that makes me happy. I live for the most part with happy things happening to me, because that's what I think about. I don't think about the bad stuff. I think about the good stuff. I love to read stories about all the good things that people do, and there are lots of them. We just don't hear about them on regular mainstream news. But if we did, if there were more news stories like that, more people would have a happier reality overall. And and I think living in a happier reality is also much more healthy. For the most part, I don't get sick very often. I'll get a bad cold or something once every couple of years, and usually that's because that happens when I've been stressed out for some reason or another, and thinking bad thoughts, scary thoughts, anxious thoughts. Now that I have a better understanding that my thoughts create my feelings, I don't have as many scary thoughts, anxious thoughts. For me, worry was a part of my bad thoughts. Anxiety as a more of a shy person, social anxiety, things like that. But through this past year, and learning about my thoughts, and learning that it's just my thoughts that were making me anxious in social situations, I don't have those anymore. I don't really get anxious so far, at least. Once I've sort of realized that it was just thoughts and not necessarily reality. I don't have those anxious thoughts as much, because now I don't care. I can be out in social situations and I'm not really concerned with what people may think of me. I really don't care if they like me or not, or if I'm doing something silly and they think I'm silly. I just don't care what people think as much. And that's not, that can be something that happens overnight, but it's just from learning. For me, it's just learning about different about my thoughts. Really, it's just about learning that that it's just thoughts, and I can change those thoughts. I don't need to think those thoughts. So really, that's all that creating your reality is. It's just well, in a way, it's just new thoughts. If you change your thoughts, you change your reality. I think I'll just end there.